It's so many reasons why I love myself. I love myself because I know I'll still put forth effort even at my lowest. I love myself because I know I've been through everything, so I know I can get through anything. And I love myself because I love my resilience. I love myself because God loves me. I love myself because I'm the head and not the tail. I love myself because I'm going to get up and try every single day. I love myself because I show up in the midst of adversity. I love myself because I'm not afraid to try new things. I love myself because I'm not afraid to choose myself. Like, you got to remind yourself of all these reasons and all the things that make you love you. And if you pour and build those things back up, no one will ever be able to take that from you ever again. And that's what I vowed to myself. Hi cousins, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Brii Renee, straight from the A. And if you are not new here, welcome back cousins. This is one of those extra videos that I'm giving y'all this month instead of doing Vlogmas. And this topic, a lot of people, they hit me up in the comments and they was like, we want to hear how you feel about this. And this was one that was highly requested. So I wanted to sit down with you guys and talk all about how to get over a breakup. These are the steps and things that I did, the tools that I use. If it worked for you, if it worked for you. If it don't, it don't. Take the meat, leave the bones. Whatever works for you, float your boat. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So I wrote out my notes because it definitely comes in stages. And I want you to know that going through a breakup is not always a bad thing. Like, sometimes we look at endings as if they're so devastating. And this is me. I'm talking to me here. And a lot of times we forget that in order to start something new that is fresh, that is for you, that is meant for you, that is in alignment with God's will, you have to say no and you have to leave some situations that aren't meant for you, that aren't serving you, that aren't helping you be the best version of yourself. And it's okay. The only way that you're going to get what God truly wants for you to have is for you to walk out of those seasons of your life and for you to be strong enough to say no. So whether you initiated the breakup or someone else did, it's okay to go through breakups, and it's okay if you feel like a little distraught about it. I definitely went through a really, really bad breakup this year. I've tried to be as transparent as possible throughout that process while still giving myself the time, the space to heal, and being courteous to everyone that was involved with the breakup. I think that's the hard part too, is like, you want to heal, you want to be transparent, but then you don't want to be like, come off as like bashing the other person or telling all y'all business. You know what I'm saying? That's hard for me to do. But I feel like I navigated this season pretty well. So here are the things that I did and the steps that I took to breaking up. First off, it hurt, and it's okay. Sometimes, even if you made the decision to end the relationship, if you made the decision that you had to do what was best for you, even if you didn't end on bad terms, even if you ended on bad terms, whatever it is, you're going to grieve that relationship, because anytime, especially at this big age, when you grown for real, you're dating to see if this person can be your forever. So you are, visualizing a life with this person. So when that comes to an end, it's okay to cry it out. Let's just start there. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be sad. That don't make you weird. That don't make you a loser. It's okay to be hurt. Even if you was the one that, regardless of how the coin landed, like if you was the one that had to break up with that person, or if you were the one that got broken up with, it's okay to cry. It's okay to mourn the end of that chapter of your life. It's okay to mourn what you thought was going to be your forever. That's normal. If you didn't mourn it, you're kind of heartless. If you, or you was just that fed up where you were like, I don't give a, you know what I mean? So it's okay to be sad about it. So I definitely spent some time crying it out. I cried it out. I think I had like the whole month of June where I was down bad. Okay, sad. I didn't leave the house. I cried it out. I was moping because this relationship ended at a really rough time of my life anyway. So it was really hard for me to cope with because I felt like damn, I know I don't need to go back to that situation, but damn, I'm dealing with so much other stuff. I wish I just had something that was comforting and familiar. But damn, you gotta do what's best for you. So it's like, I went through a very tumultuous time in June this past year. Well, this year in June. And it was really hard. I cried it out. I rotted for a few days. Maybe a week or two, you know? Whatever your schedule can allow. I feel like my old saying used to be, you get to rot for 2 days and then you got to get up, because even Jesus rose on the third day. But when you spend so much of your life with somebody, when you visualize and intertwine so much of your identity with somebody, it's really hard to separate that. It's really hard to redefine that. It's a grieving process, and you don't really get to decide how long you grieve. I know we like to tell ourselves that we can give ourselves this amount of time, and then you don't get to pick. Unfortunately, you don't get to choose. I rotted longer than I would normally like to rot. And rotting for me looks like hair ugly, sweatpants, on the couch, crying. I'm listening to my favorite music. I knew I was crazy. This is how I knew I was crazy. I knew I was crazy when I started to listen to music that I knew would make me cry. Like on days where I was still sad but hadn't cried, I would listen to music that would make me cry. Crazy or not? But yeah, listening to music, you want to give yourself time to rot. You want to give yourself time to process. While I'm rotting, I'm eating comfort foods. I eat comfort foods. I wish I was one of them people who heart got broke and they don't eat. That don't happen to me. If it do, I would just ride that on now so you could at least lose some weight while you're at it. But yeah, rotting, I would eat my favorite foods. I would Uber Eats every day. I wasn't getting up and cooking. But I was watching comfort shows and eating comfort food, wearing comfort clothes. For me, it's sweats over baggy, oversized stuff, oversized shirts, and just really sitting in that for a minute, like really living in that feeling of ugh. I don't even know what else to call it. It was straight ugh. Like, just like, damn, this didn't end up how I wanted it to. Okay, so after you're done with your rotting phase, you know, that could take anywhere from 2 days to 2 weeks, depending on what you got to do. If you got kids, I'm sure you ain't got that much time to rot. You might got a day, a couple hours. You know what I'm saying? But no judgment, take your time. I personally live alone. I have no kids, so I got a chance to rot, and I was not working. So I really was rotting for a month. But whatever that looks like for you, don't stay there forever. Be able to pull yourself back out of that. And remember, we get down, but we don't stay there, okay? So bounce back. With the bounce back season, okay, you gotta get active. You gotta get back in the gym. You gotta get back on your workout regimen, whether it's going for walks. And that's another thing that I really did enjoy while I was rotting. I realized that taking walks with my dog every day was like the breath of fresh air. It would give me time to get out of the house, get out of that funk. You know what I mean? So you can start to slowly intertwine or overlap these phases. So I started to take walks. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready to go to the trail again. My little trail that I go to, I take y'all with me sometimes. I'm ready to go back to the gym. I need to get back in the gym. Go to the gym. Start getting back active, working out. For me, working out really gave me a place to put my aggression. I cried in the gym. I was angry. I put it all out there in the gym, in the weights, in my workout. So don't be afraid to go to the gym, because that will be like a huge stress reliever if you allow it to be an outlet for you. Then I went through a phase of clearing out all the old things around my house that reminded me of that person. So you want to like pack up your clothes, pack up their shoes, their clothes, anything that they have left behind. Pack that shit up. Do not have it around your house, because you're going to be like, oh my God, this reminds me of their favorite number. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, let it go. Like, pack that shit up. Even if you don't, because you don't want to go back to drop. You don't want to go drop it off for a reason to see that person. You don't want to do that. Pack that shit up and Uber package it. Or pack that shit up and put it in the garage until you're much stronger and you can ride by and drop it off on their porch when they're not there. You don't want to make any contact with that person. Oh yeah, during this time, I think this should be self-explanatory, but there should be no contact. You should unfollow. on social media. You don't want to be seeing this person. You don't want to be checking their page. You don't want to be following and seeing what they doing. You don't want to be liking their pics. I unfollowed my ex, and I think it took him some time before he unfollowed me. I think he did. Don't know. But I unfollowed him immediately. Okay? You gotta go. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see people talking about it. And then also, I started to block people who would talk about him under my posts. Stop asking me about that person. Like, y'all ruder than somebody grandma at Thanksgiving. Don't ask me about nobody you don't see me with. Okay? I don't go on your page asking you about the last girl that you was talking to or the last dude that you was talking to. Don't do that to me. Okay? So yeah, I unfollowed. I don't go checking for them. I don't go trying to keep up with them. I cut all ties with family members, people that want to communicate and talk and be. I might be nice and polite, answer the phone, but I keep the conversation short because the only way you're going to heal is to let it go. You have to let go of all those ties to that person. And for me, this breakup was really hard because while I let go a lot of personal ties, we still had intertwined a lot of business. So I had to still show up and shoot at their studio, fill my vending machine up at their studio. But I made sure I did so around times that I knew that that person wouldn't be there, so I didn't have to run into this person. You don't want to see that person. You don't want to come in contact with that person. You want to cut all communication and contact so you're not just reminiscing or romanticizing the relationship. Like, a lot of times when we break up, we romanticize the good and we forget about all the bad and the reasons why we had to leave. We romanticize those few little pieces or those few things that kept us holding on, but we forget why we had to let go so hard. Like, hey, yeah, that part was cool, but then think about all the shit that wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? So remind yourself of that and don't be afraid to like completely cut those ties, because I feel like the more you're checking up on that person, the more you have them in your face, in your space, on your line, and you got their stuff around your house, you are starting to romanticize or miss unnecessarily things that you really don't even need to be holding on to. Let it go, babe. Let it go. So yeah, and while you're doing that, get yourself a new routine. Another hard part about breaking up is y'all had so much of y'all lives intertwined where y'all became part of each other's routine. You know how you're used to waking up and talking to that person, or you're used to waking up next to that person, or you're used to rushing home to tell that person about your day, or you're used to they do this on this day, so you plan your schedule around that. Like, you have to create a new routine. You have to figure out, even if it's like something as small as like when you wake up, you used to text them good morning. Wake up and pull out your Bible. Wake up and get on your knees and pray. Like, make new habits that take the place of what those habits and routines were with that person. That was the biggest thing for me because, like I said, so much of our lives that intertwine in such a short amount of time that I had to really redefine myself completely. Like, I had to really figure out who was Brii Renee again by myself. And that's so crazy because it was like, wow, you were not with this person for so long, and then you get with this person and you like this joint at the head so much that and that's so scary to me about relationships. And that's one of my biggest fears about going into another relationship, is that I don't want my identity or my social media or my presence to be all about anybody else other than me again, because if it doesn't work out, it's so hard to separate the two. It's so scary. It really is like hard to redefine yourself. But what I realized is that we can do it at any age, stage, phase of your life. You can redefine who you are, and it doesn't have to look like anything that anyone's ever seen. It doesn't have to look like your old self, because I felt like, when am I going to be back old Brii? I'm never going to be that version again. That moment has passed. That woman is gone. She's no longer coming back. She's a part of the building blocks and the foundation of who I am today. But it's okay if I never get back to being that version. I've learned so much, so I don't have to. And give yourself grace for that. And that's how you gotta look at it. Not, damn, I gotta, but I get to decide who I wanna be next in this next phase and chapter of my life. I get to redefine everything about who I am as a woman, and everything about what I like and who I am and what I do, and you know what I mean? So look at it like that. Like, it's a redefining era, And so when you're making that new routine, shape that routine around who you want that next version of you to be. I also poured myself into all the hobbies and things that I love. So some things, like while I was redefining myself and deciding who I wanted to be next in this next chapter of my life, of course, some things I went back to that are true to me. Working out, going to church, reading the Bible. Those are my core foundational beliefs. So those became, you know, it was easy to revert back to doing those things. But I had to redefine and find new hobbies or new things that I like to do that were just for me. Like, I never used to be somebody that would go out by myself. Never. My friends used to be like, why won't you do that by yourself? And I'm like, why would I do that by myself? But I started to find out that I genuinely love doing things by myself. And don't be afraid to do that. Like, you're not weird for it. Whether it was taking a new class or reading a new book. Okay, that's a hobby that I'm always loved too. Reading, going for walks by myself, taking myself to the movies by myself. I've taken myself on more dates this year than I ever have before. And don't get me wrong, like, we'll get into that a little bit later about dating. But yeah, pour yourself into all the things, the hobbies, the things you like to do. Whether it's, I started back coloring. Okay, I was coloring in the house by myself. I fell in love with YouTube even more. Not even just creating, but watching. I never used to watch content on YouTube. I just was creating it. And now I have my favorite vloggers that I like to watch. I love watching YouTube. I fell in love with creating more content for YouTube. And just redefining and rebuilding up your personal inside, that personal development is figuring out things that you like to do that bring you joy, so that you can stay true to them and you can fill your cup up along the way. And then also, it helps you remember and remind yourself of all the things that you love about you. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I love reading. I love that I love to read. I love that I'm open to getting new information. I love that I'm open to learning. Like, those are things that I learned and fell in love with about myself. And I realized, okay, I'm not this horrible person that I was telling myself I was during this breakup. Or during a tumultuous part of that relationship. Like, that relationship really had me putting myself down. It had me talking to myself so negatively because of how I saw myself through someone else's eyes. It's okay if you don't see the value in me. It's okay if someone doesn't see who you are at your core. That means that they just might not be that person for you. If you can't see my heart because you worried about layers of superficial bull, you're not the person for me. So I feel like I had to really remind myself of all the reasons why I love myself. And so I wasn't spending so much time and effort. I had to reclaim that time and effort that I had spent into trying to convince somebody else to love me. Like, I spent so much time in that relationship. Like, look, but I love you. Look, love me for this. Love me. You should love me because of this. And until the point that it becomes performative. And it's like, at some point, you have to reclaim that for yourself and be like, I love me. I know my heart. I know I'm a great person. I know that I'm always willing to learn. I know that I'm open to trying new things. I know that I'm not stuck in my ways. I have a relationship with the higher power. It's so many reasons why I love myself. I love myself because I still give even when and this might be a bad thing, but this just goes to test my heart. Like, I'll give even when I don't have to give. I love myself because I know I'll still put forth effort even at my lowest. I love myself because I know that I've been through enough to know that I can get through anything. I've been through everything, so I know I can get through anything. And I love myself because I love my resilience. I love myself because God loves me. I love myself because I'm the head and not the tail. I love myself because I'm going to get up and try every single day. When I was running on 5 and 10%, sometimes, y'all knew sometimes I would tell y'all, sometimes I wouldn't, but I still got up and gave it the whole 5 or 10%. A lot of people ain't gonna do that. I love myself because I'm so resilient. I love myself because I show up in the midst of adversity. I love myself because I'm not afraid to try new things. I love myself because I'm not afraid to choose myself. Like, you gotta remind yourself of all these reasons and all the things that make you love you. And if you pour and build those things back up, no one will ever be able to take that from you ever again. And that's what I vowed to myself. I'm never gonna be in a relationship or be around people or friends or anybody that's not gonna let me love myself to the fullest. If I gotta love me less for you to love me, you're not for me. If I gotta love me less just to make you feel comfortable to love me, you're not for me. And anybody that love you don't want you to dim your light. They want you to shine brighter. So remind yourself of those things while you're going through. And even if you gotta sit there and say them things in the mirror, okay? You gotta write them down every day so you don't forget. Like, if that's part of your new routine is journaling and writing those things down, you have to do that, because you gotta remind yourself that nobody else gonna pour into you, nobody else gonna tell you that shit but you, okay? And the world wants you to forget. They want you to not know who you are. They want you to not know your strength. They want you to not know your capabilities. So you gotta show up for you regardless. And then last, but certainly not least, girl, it's time to get out there and start back dating. Okay, it's time to get up and get out the house, get cute, do your hair, do your makeup, do whatever you got to do and go date you. First and foremost, you thought I was gonna say go on a date with somebody. No, go date you first. I've shown y'all, I took myself, every Friday I would go to the movies or go out to eat. I'm still doing it, you know, even if I got a little date with me. But I started to date myself first. And foremost, I put myself out there. I would take myself to places alone. I would go do things that I like to do by myself. I would try new restaurants, find them on TikTok. I have a whole folder on Instagram of date night with me, of restaurants and places that I wanted to try when I was dating myself. Do that. Don't be afraid to do that, okay? Go date yourself. Put yourself out there, you know? Even if somebody walks up to you while you're out by yourself, say hello. That happened to me. I was not, and I swore I was not in the space to date people at the time. I was like, I don't want to talk to nobody. But this fine man walked up to me and said hello and went out his way to introduce himself. So I said hello back. And now, hey, is all she wrote. So don't be afraid to get out there and date new people. Don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. But like I said, definitely take that time to date yourself first. I feel like that helps get yourself in the groove of, you know, getting cute, getting dressed up, trying new places, getting out the house. But then also, that's how you meet people. That's how I met somebody. Y'all know my brand, Isolate to Elevate. And sometimes elevation requires separation. That's true. That's the phase that we already talked about. But once you are starting to heal, it's okay to invite people into your space, like in your heart. The old person or that last person that hurt you does not deserve to control how you date for the rest of your life. They don't deserve to control whether or not you give your heart to somebody else again. They don't deserve to control whether or not you put yourself out there, or if you, like, I was like, I'll never love again. I'll never do it again. But it's like, you're giving that old person so much more power. You think that they not gonna be loving people again? Because baby, and it's gonna come back around. Like, I have gotten so many, girl, you know such and such slid in my DM. Girl, you know such and such tried to talk to me. Or girl, you know, wasn't that your boyfriend? Because, and they was literally seeing, girls be talking. So you gonna hear, and once I heard that, oh, this motherfucker is not thinking about me. They not sitting up talking about, they not gonna talk to nobody else again because they so heartbroken or they miss me. They out there trying to get in where they fit in. So baby, why would I slow myself up and miss my blessing and possibly miss my husband because I don't want to date again because of what somebody else did to me? No. They don't deserve to control your life moving forward. They don't deserve to keep your heart in a headlock. Release that shit. Okay, get out there and date, meet new people, try new things, okay? Obviously go about it in healthier ways. And then another thing, being in new relationships and dating new people will put a mirror up to you about things that you still need to fix or heal from, even if it came from that last relationship. That's been the hardest part for me. It's like, oh my God, some of the things that I hated about that person or hated about that relationship, I'm now doing. So you have to be mindful of that. And that's why I would say sometimes staying in isolation too long will hinder you. Relationships are mirrors. You still need that mirror to be able to see what you need to work on and heal from. So don't stay a hermit crab forever, girl. Put on your freakum dress and go hit the streets, okay? Now, I ain't saying sleep with everybody. I'm not saying jump into a relationship immediately, but date how you feel comfortable dating. If you want to date multiple people, if you don't want to see them often, but talk to them on the phone, like whatever you feel comfortable with, give yourself space, give yourself opportunity to possibly like or fall in love with somebody again. You deserve it. You're human. Whether you were the person that messed up that last relationship or not, whether you were the person that ended it or not, you still deserve love. We're a human. That's our basic right and necessity, to be loved. And you deserve it. So you ain't gonna find it sitting in the cribbo, babe. You gonna have to get your ass up. Okay, because I'm not here for the Instagram DMs. I feel like that's so corny. I haven't met nobody off Instagram and dated nobody off Instagram. Like I tried that in my early 20s. Never doing that again. Like I have to meet people outside. I want to see what you looking like. How are you intimidated? Are you gonna walk up to me? Are you gonna speak? How are you gonna handle when a grown? What's the procedure when a bad is in the room? You know? So yeah, definitely get out there, mingle, date. Don't be afraid to, receive love. You deserve it. Don't be afraid to try again. Okay? It happens to the best of us. You dust yourself off and try again. Okay, that's what Aaliyah said. That's been my rant on how to get over a breakup. Let me know what you think. If I missed some things, if you have some tips and tricks for anybody else out there, drop them below. Let me know what other topics you want me to cover. Let me know which of these you feel like, dang, I never thought about it like that. Or dang, I wish I had did that. Or dang, I'm gonna incorporate that. Let me know below. You know I'm always in the comments. I definitely wanna talk to y'all. I definitely wanna engage. Y'all is my cousins. We family at this point. We locked in. And the only way we're gonna grow is if we do it together. So let me know below how you feel about everything. And if there are any other topics that you want me to cover, because a few of y'all had said this, y'all was on my head about this topic. I had to come with this one. So let me know what other topics you want me to cover, because I got y'all. I actually enjoy doing these. You might get a little bit more of these into the new year. So yeah, I love y'all. Until next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because if you haven't subscribed, like, we not cousins. You're not really my cousin for real. And I'm trying to get to 50K, y'all. How long y'all think it's gonna take me to get to 50K subscribers? Let me know. Help me out. Send my page to somebody. Let them know, like, hey, you need to be following Brii, because Brii real. I rock with her. You know what I mean? But yeah, subscribe to my channel, please. I think I'm at like 26,000, and I want to get to 50. So help me. The goal obviously is 100, but I'm trying to get to 50. So let me know what y'all need from me, what type of content y'all want to see from me, what other talks y'all want to have, and we can get there. And I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning into this video. Until next time.
See you.